That's it.
You know who treats people right?
Tell me.
The national champion, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback of the
certainly does.
Indiana Hoosiers, man.
Certainly does.
You could not ask for a better representative for college football, college athletics, and probably most likely the Las Vegas Raiders when they select him number 1 overall. His play has been spectacular, but I really do love his makeup, what he is as a person. And this was an interview on CBS Mornings of him talking about his family. What an inspiration. Here he is.
But we were saying this as we were celebrating your win, that your personal story is so inspiring, not just to us, but to millions of people who are watching, not just Hoosiers. Yeah. The love that your father has for your mom. One of the things that we learn is your father never stands when he's cheering for you. He sits because your mom is suffering from MS. Talk to me about what it was like for you to just lean at her side and show her that you just won the national championship.
That was my favorite moment of the game. I love the game. I love when you dove into the end zone, all that good stuff. Yeah. But my favorite moment was head-to-head with your mom, your dad.
It was so beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
What were you thinking?
Yeah. So my parents are so great, and they've taught me what true love is, what true commitment and true passion is. And I've had the responsibility to carry that out, whether it's football career, as a son, as a brother, and to see them have that true love and commitment and fight the battle and have the optimism they have every single day, it's inspired myself. And they've always harped on myself that although it's been a huge underdog story, hey, in our eyes, you're the top dog. You're the top dog.
So
Unbelievable. His mom played tennis at Miami. And then I think it was 2019, her health started to deteriorate from the MS, the multiple sclerosis, which she suffers from. And he has called her multiple times his inspiration, the way she's handled it with grace. And then how about the story of commitment from his dad and the love story there that he's been able to witness firsthand? It is just a testament to parents that have done a phenomenal job preaching what is right to their family.
Sure.
It's more than just football. And when you hear him talk, and this is kind of crazy to me because some people are like, he's too good. Is he inauthentic? He's about as real as it gets.
Yeah.
It's just who he is. And you see his brothers and how there's almost like this innocence about this family that shows to me the parents did a phenomenal job of instilling the right values in their children of what really matters. And it goes way beyond football so that you don't see him stressed out.
Yeah.
You don't see him worried about winning or losing. You don't see him worried about, well, what if I fall short? He's very comfortable and confident because he knows his family's what matters most. His health is what matters most. Like, he's got his priorities straight, which allows him to go out and excel on the field. And he has worked his tail off to prove any critics wrong. It is such an inspirational story that every young kid should look up to Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, 1,000%. And if you know Fernando Mendoza's real story, he was a 2-star recruit coming out, so he really wasn't highly coveted by a lot of these schools. And look, I kind of know from personal experience, like I'm not Fernando Mendoza by any stretch, but I knew coming in, like I wasn't expected to do a lot, but I was able to really feed off of a strong family foundation and the love and like never-ending support of my mom and pop, who believed in me even when I was telling them I have these absurd dreams that should never ever happen by my where I started. And I see the same thing with Fernando Mendoza. He came in as a 2-star recruit, and he's just got the love and just endless support of mom and dad. You could see it. It just pours out of him. And like you said, they poured a ton into him. And a bunch of times, I'm a big believer in, and I always say this, I don't know that we've ever seen the most talented football or basketball or baseball player that's ever walked the earth. And it's probably because something at home or something along the way kind of derailed them and they didn't make it to that super high level. But yeah, I think so much of the foundation of what makes a good athlete starts in the home. And you can tell that this family's got it. Yeah, I have you see the way he talks and cares about his brothers. You see how tightly knit they look.
Yeah. Even
the aunt is at the games. You know what I mean? It's a family occasion, man. And it's super cool to see them having that success. Now, it seems like, he wasn't, I guess, when you come up as an underdog, it's almost like you're not expected to do much. So anything you get, you appreciate so much more. And you can see and when you've been through stuff, you sort of appreciate it more. So like in the big picture, even if Fernando Mendoza lost and didn't have a great game, right? I think he sees what like you said, real love is, and he has like real tragedy. Like mom's sick. That puts things into perspective for you. You know what I mean? You realize then that there are bigger tragedies. And like you said, it gives him the freedom to kind of come out, play loose, and whatever happens, happens, because I know I'm going home to a nice, solid home and love and a family that supports me, and it is a huge help.
I want Malik to find something. There's a Fernando Mendoza clip talking about girlfriends, why he doesn't have time for a girlfriend. Did you see this clip?
I saw it in passing, and I got to tell you a funny story while Malik pulls it up.
I'll tell you a funny story, too, because if I would have had his maturity and his wisdom to be able to just pass up on that and make a sacrifice, I would have been that much better. Like I was a knucklehead who was having a good time. It's the third one down. Did you see that? It's the keep going down.
And you can go one of two ways when you're a guy who wasn't super highly coveted, and then you end up being a superstar.
Yeah.
Because suddenly having all that access and everything thrust upon you, if you're not genuinely a good person, it could turn you the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We've seen a lot of kids like that before, where they're not.
There it is.
They
The
never
second
really
one.
had much before, and then they get all this, and it changes
Listen to this
them.
maturity.
Young guys that's in college right now. Because when you was talking earlier, you said, man, I don't have time for a girlfriend. So let's talk about the girls right now. Why don't you have time for the girlfriends?
I would say I know myself, and I know that it was such a short period of time that if I have a really, really good next 2 years, I can make it to the NFL, and I believe that I will make it to the NFL. However, at this point, I got to limit all distractions. I live a 3-minute walk from the facility where we have our weight room, our practice facility, and our stadium. So I think that's very important, living close, especially with the girls. It can be very distracting now. You might find your first love in college and stuff like that, but I know that if I finish class at 6, like everything, I'm gonna give everything my all. So if I have a girlfriend, I'm gonna give her my all, and that means I'm gonna go back from 6 to 9, just go, hang out with her and, maybe get dinner or something, rather than maybe picking up dinner on the way back from class and watching extra film for the game week. Okay.
To give someone,
The maturity there to be able to realize I was 24, starting quarterback for the Giants, and I didn't realize how special an opportunity was.
Right.
That was him at Cal.
Yeah.
That's before he's at Indiana, and he's still saying, I believe I have a chance to go to the NFL. So I am not going to ruin it by messing around, by having a girlfriend, by having these distractions. That is the 1% mindset. There are not a lot of people who think like that. And I think that's a direct result of his background, the family aspect, them preaching priorities, but also him having that chip on his shoulder. Like, I need to go the extra distance. I don't have time for those distractions, where I was somebody who had everything given to me. I was a 5-star All-American. Like, I had offers all over the place. It just came easy. I didn't learn the lesson of how finite and how small this opportunity was until it was too late. It was too late in my career to come back. I wish, it's one of my big regrets, I wish I had taken that approach either when I was in college as a starting quarterback at Florida State, when I was a starting quarterback for the New York Giants, because I do think it would have impacted my success on the field. Again, I was immature. I didn't realize that window, how small it is. You think it's going to last forever because it's been there your whole life. And then the next thing you know, it's gone, and you're like, oh, I should have made some better decisions.
Yeah, the maturity and self-awareness are off the charts right there. You know what I mean? As athletes, I think a lot of people don't realize how selfish we are and how selfish we have to be to sort of get to the level of a Fernando Mendoza. And it's few and far between the guys who are able to, there's a couple of them. We think of the guys who don't work hard but coast on athletic ability, and they get to the highest highs, but at some point they usually fizzle out. But a guy like that has to he understands that I'm going to be I thought about it when I'm going to be a bad partner if I have a girlfriend now, because there's going to be nights I don't care. She's my second priority. You know what I mean? Family is my second priority. Parties are my second priority. You have to be a bit selfish. And for him to realize that at that point and that stage, and it wanted to be a great decision, and yeah, he made the right one, because obviously he's in for a whole bunch of success now.
Yes.
And you can see, man, it stems from home, and it stems from that foundation that his parents have put upon him.
I am telling you, that is a 1% mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
I played for a long time. I did not see many teammates that had that mindset. I saw a few. That is the 1% mindset, which is incredible at his age to have that.
And that mindset doesn't always come with the talent.
Right.
A lot of the kids like that, like myself.
Right.
I had the mindset, but I wasn't 6'4",
right,
and I didn't have the ability to kind of to match the mindset with the ability on the field.
Right.
So when you see it from a guy like that, man, it's just get out of the way, because the heights are limitless,
Get out of the way is right.